Hello everybody, my name is Walter, and today I want to show you another trap I designed, and that is the rather old-fashioned or old-school spiked wall trap. So, as you can see here, we have this rather big room, 3 blocks high, quite a few blocks wide, with a little eye-catching chest at the very end. And for this demonstration, let's quickly go into survival mode, and let's play the typical Tomb Raider or hero, aka kleptomaniac, and let's see what's in this chest here. And something strange is here. Maybe you should put it back. This does not seem to work, and this does not sound so good. And with that, I'll finish this little part of the presentation. So this is essentially how this thing here works. So just it pushes the walls towards the middle and then crushes whoever is right in there. And now the nice thing with this, as there are already such crushing wall traps, is that it can be easily reset. And for this, all you have to do is essentially design a trigger that can be reset. In this case, all you have to do is put a chest, something in the chest here, and then press this button. And once you have done this, the whole thing opens up once more and is ready for the next visitor. And that's the whole thing in a nutshell. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the size of the whole thing. First, let's talk about the room in the middle. It's 12 blocks wide wall to wall, although it's a bit interlaced, so the main room is only 11 blocks wide. Then the length of it is, depending on how long you want to build it, is a modular design with each module being 2 blocks wide. So it has to be an even number of blocks wide. In this case I have 10 modules or 20 blocks length. Then, with the interior out of the way, let's talk about the entire thing. It's a total of 25 blocks wide. The length of it is the length of the actual room plus 2 blocks on either side. So in total this example here is 24 blocks wide, long. And the height of it is 10 blocks in total. Additionally, you might need some space for the trigger mechanism. In this case, I used one that is at an additional 2 blocks wide, long. So that's the size requirements. Now let's talk about the required resources. Now for the whole thing I will start talking about the modules and then the additional components for the control circuits. So for each module you will need 22 slime blocks for every, so this is for every 2 blocks of length for the main room. So 22 slime blocks, 24 obsidian blocks or other immovable blocks. They should be full blocks though. Then 26 redstone dust, 2 redstone repeaters, 2 comparators, 12 sticky pistons, and 12 hoppers. Then additionally for the control circuits you will need a lot of building blocks, then 6 obsidian blocks then 4 slime blocks, 2 slabs, 21 redstone dust, 8 redstone torches, 4 repeaters, 4 comparators, 4 redstone blocks, 4 sticky pistons, 4 hoppers, and some kind of input, in this case a lever. Additionally, you might need some additional obsidian for the walls at the front and at the back, although this depends on how you want to design this whole thing here. For example, this can also be, instead of a room, just part of a corridor that's continuing on. And then in this case for my trigger mechanism I used an additional stairs, an additional redstone dust, 3 redstone torches, 2 repeaters, 1 comparator, a simple button, a chest, and something that goes into the chest. And that's essentially all you're gonna need. So let's show you how to build this trap here. Okay, so the first step is placing the blocks at the very center of the floor and of the ceiling. In this case I'm going for a 20 block long strip, which is 10 modules basically. The difference in between is a 3 high gap, and that's our starting point. Then from there on, go to one side and start placing 5 immovable blocks, followed by 5 normal blocks to this side, and then another immovable block here. Then leave a one wide gap, go one below like this, and place a stairs of 4 obsidian blocks like that, then another normal block on top, put redstone on top of those blocks, then a block diagonally like so, a comparator on top of it, block to the front of it, then grab 5 sticky pistons and place them down like so, put slime blocks in the front of them and 2 more like that, then a sticky piston here, followed by 3 slime blocks there and a 4th one here, right below the sticky piston, then 3 blocks to this side and 4 blocks to the side of the slime blocks there. Next, let's grab some hoppers and place a row of 6 hoppers in total, like that, and followed by 2 immovable blocks like so. Finally, put some redstone dust on top of those, a normal block to the side here, and a repeat on one tick in this direction. Then just fill in the ceiling, and that's the pattern for our very first module, which you just copy and paste until you reach the end, where you can actually then leave out the very last of this redstone stairs here. But this is basically how we build this one side, and then you go on the other side and start building exactly the same thing, just starting from this end here. And how this looks, I will show you after the little cut. And after you've finished this part, you should have something looking similar to this here. Of course, instead of those obsidian blocks here, you can use other immovable blocks like furnaces, for example. And instead of the iron blocks here, of course, you can use any other kind of block there. Just make sure that you use full blocks in those walls here, otherwise you won't suffocate or whoever you trap in here. So, anyway, with that out of the way, let's start with this side again. And for this, let's go to this very first block here. Go 2 to the front, 2 to the side, and then 1 down. And just this block here we need. Put a torch on top of it, then block on top, redstone on top, block to this side with a repeat on 4 ticks in this direction. Put a block up here with a torch to this side, block top, another torch here, then grab 2 hoppers, place them facing into each other like that. Put in 1 full stack of X plus 9, so in total 25 X. Then put a normal block here, followed by an obsidian block there. Another normal block in this corner here. Put 2 comparators down like this, put this in the subtract mode. Next, grab a slab, place it right here. Put a comparator in this direction. Block right here with a redstone on top. Then it's time to grab a sticky piston, place it here facing upwards, slime block on top, redstone block to the side, grab an obsidian block, place it in this direction, repeater on this, then 3 blocks down like so, put redstone on top of those, another block here to cut off in this wire there, then another sticky piston here with a slime block to the side, then redstone block on top, normal block to the front, sticky piston right here, then repeat in this direction again on 1 tick, block to the front, another block here, and finally 1 redstone down like that. And that is the entire control mechanism. So now let's just go down here, place a block diagonally like that, then a torch down here, and now this side here should start closing in a few seconds. Don't worry, this is just for the first time, where it is so slow. after we have actually added one last thing. For this, first let's remove this redstone block there, then put a torch here, then you can replace the redstone block again. Next, let's put a block on top of this torch, then 4 blocks in an L shape like that, and finally 4 redstone dust down like so. And that's finally the last part of this done. So next step is actually copying this to the opposite corner right there. And done. So one little modification I forgot to mention is you can actually replace this redstone here with a block in front of the repeater there. But anyway, with that done, now you should have the whole thing completely closed, as you can see here. And it's finally time to connect both sides and then put in a trigger mechanism for this example here. So for the connection, simply all you have to do is connect this block and the corresponding block on the opposite corner with some redstone. And for this, let's just put a line of blocks in this corner and another line of blocks along this corner here. You might want to put a repeater at some point to reinforce the signal. And just to make the timing identical on both sides, you can put another one there, although this is more or less optional. Now it's time to see if everything works, so just let's power this redstone line there and see if the whole thing opens up again. This looks good. We already know that the closing works. So next, let's place at the line of the middle strip of floor a chest with stairs on top, so we can actually reach it from the back and fill it with whatever we want to fill in, or to reach it with a secret passage without actually being entrapped. Then maybe some light source up, and finally important, a full block behind it. Then block here with a comparator in this direction, put a block to the front, a torch to this side, then put down a block diagonally like so, torch to this side, 2 blocks in the middle, then grab 2 repeaters, one in this direction, another one in this direction, put a block up here with torch, redstone on top, and finally a torch to this side here. And now let's quickly reset the whole thing. So let's put a button here, and this is our reset. And as you can see, now if we remove this lever here, the whole thing starts or stays open due to this flip-flop down here. But once we empty the chest, the whole thing starts closing and keeps closing even if we replace whatever we took out of it. And if we want to open it again, we will have to press the button there. And of course we will have to put something in here. And finally the last part is closing the whole flat area here, if it's part of a room. If it's just part of a rather wide corridor, then of course you will just have to continue the corridor. And we are done. So as you can see, I placed in the walls at the back and at the front. Just make sure that on one side you use immovable blocks, where the slime blocks of the very first module on this side would otherwise get stuck. And if you want to make this as closed as you can, you might want to place some immovable blocks at the back here, otherwise you might be able to see parts of the circuitry through those gaps, or visible gaps in those hoppers here. But anyway, and this is basically the whole thing in its finished form. So now let's give it a final test. And let's quickly get out of here. And as you can see, this looks nice and perfectly functional. And final test in this direction. And now the trap is set once more. Okay. Okay, so that was how you can build my spiked wall trap. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and well, see ya!